Animals and Don't Even Be Misunderstood on BBC Radio Leicester. Conor and Ronin here from Takeover Radio, and here to discuss all things sport. Having seats in front of me, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How are we?
I'm all right, thanks very much. As you'll have noticed, I didn't talk to you very much off air, because everything that we talk about, I think we should discuss on air. And you can see, anyway, listen, before we talk any more a little bit later on, we'll talk sport, shall we? So give us a bit of a brief overview of Leicester City this season.
Well, I think they've been...
If you have to.
I think they've been very dominant in possession and have had threatening attacks, but I think they've been unlucky in most of their games, especially in that Everton one. Upson obviously put them behind when they were winning for most of the game.
I think the thing is, Leicester have been very unlucky so far this season. 4 points separate them from the relegation, or from 17th place, which of course, safety position. But fans are starting to get frustrated with Nigel Pearson. If you look at it, his team selection so far this season hasn't been what fans wanted. If you look at Mark Albrighton, a lot of fans are getting frustrated that he's not even in the side. He weren't even in the sub. He weren't even.
Which fans have you spoken to?
Well, just listening to the football forum and things like that,
yeah.
A lot of fans who sit around me at the King Power, they just get so frustrated that he's not even in the side. This is a guy who's approaching 100 Premier League appearances, and as well as that, was only a few years ago attracting strong interest from the likes of Liverpool. So I think fans have a right to be frustrated, but if you look at Leicester's fixtures from April onwards, I'd say realistically they have a good chance to be in all games, albeit if you look at the beginning of the season, they didn't have, when them games came up, they didn't take their opportunities. So if you look at their games, they've got the likes of QPR, Sunderland, West Bromwich Albion, Burnley. Now compare that to the sides in and around the relegation places. West Brom, they play Chelsea, Arsenal and Manchester United in May. Palace play Chelsea, Manchester United and Liverpool, and Hull play Tottenham, Arsenal and Manchester United. So in and around the relegation places, there are some tough fixtures for sides which are not Leicester City. Leicester City have a good opportunity, and as well, I think fans are also becoming frustrated, especially after that Villa game a few weeks ago, that they had a good chance of going far in that FA Cup semi-final, FA Cup final, Wembley. That's what Leicester City fans would have wanted. They've not been there now. Well, it was 15 years ago yesterday, wasn't it, when Matt Elliott, BBC Radio Leicester's own, strike 2 goals to get Leicester the win.
You mentioned about Nigel Pearson, people's thoughts that way, that the manager will always cop a lot of flack for being at the head of a club, but surely the players need to take some responsibility for that. So for the future, for the rest of their time in this season, what's the aim then, do you think?
I think the aim this season is just to stay up. They've got to play like they're playing. I think a lot of fans were a bit frustrated as well that Pearson didn't bring in any proper Premiership experience except Hoof, and that's only on loan. So there are players there that can keep Leicester up. Leicester just need to keep going, and hopefully for them, they should get the results come April onwards. Yes, you've got yes, you've got Southampton, yes, you've got Chelsea, but hopefully for them, they should be able to pick up a few points, which may just keep them safe. 40 points is always the target, because how so close it is. It will be very hard for the Foxes to get 40 points, but will they need 40 points?
We've been celebrating for a long time about the successes of both our sides. I think Leicester Tigers are ones that we've been able to put a lot of support behind. It's been a little easier perhaps to support the Leicester Tigers beforehand. However, they've not even been that consistent this year either, have they?
Well, we all know their record. They've been in the playoffs and the Aviva Premiership since 2003, 2004. A great, illustrious club with an illustrious history. However, it's so tight there. If you look, there's 1 point separating 4th, 5th, 6th, where of course Tigers are, and 7th. One thing I would worry about for Tigers is their fixtures coming towards the end of the season. They've got Wasps in their first East Midlands derby between the two at the Ricoh Arena in their first fixture in May, as well as Northampton Saints on the last game of the season. Now, of course, Saints, you would think, would be challenging to actually get first place in there. So it will be difficult for Leicester Tigers to get a playoff place, but equally they've had success in the LV Cup this season. They've got a home semi-final in a few weeks' time against Exeter, albeit they're the reigning champions, and they will not be an easy side to play against. But that's why these games, like today against Sale, will be so key for Leicester Tigers. Disappointment in Europe as well for Tigers this season. Last time they won it was the Heineken Cup then, obviously. Now it's the Champions Cup, was 2002. Now, to say how long ago that was, Richard Cockrell was on the replacements bench then.
Yeah, definitely. And also there's the Owen Williams long-term injury, which that means he's out of the World Cup, and that's ended his dreams to play for Wales, unfortunately. And there is the Tigers v Sale today, so that should be a close game between them two.
Yeah.
It should. Elsewhere, though, I mean, we'll still stay with rugby. Big game at the Aviva Stadium tomorrow. So England in action, taking on the Irish. Decisive in the Six Nations, this one.
Decisive in the Six Nations, but let's not kid ourselves. We know where England were. They were in this position 2 years ago when they took a trip to the Millennium Stadium, when they ended up losing, 33. They got thrashed on that day, a day which Chris Robshaw, the England captain, questioned his captaincy as a result. The reigning champions, though, this season, I think they are missing Brian O'Driscoll. Very inspirational for them. Of course, he retired after the Six Nations last week. The likes of Johnny Sexton will have to step up. But there is an amazing amount of England talent, especially at fly half. Owen Farrell, albeit he's injured, albeit he won't play a part in the Six Nations this year. George Ford also at fly half. He's transformed his career more or less since moving from Tigers to play under his dad, Mike, at Bath. And also Danny Cipriani, of course, he's signed a 2.5-year deal, contract extension at Sale the other week, of course. Really key. He's been in form this season for Sale. He was supposed to be going to Toulon. Now remember, if he went to Toulon, he wouldn't have been able to play for England because of the guidelines. Well, he's wanted to stay at Sale, and I think really playing for England, playing for his national side is one of the reasons why.
Yeah, of course, and also with the Rugby World Cup coming up, this game is extremely important for their World Cup preparations, isn't it, really? To gain the momentum that they need. Yeah.
Well, listen, let's move away from rugby. I want to go back to the other shaped ball. That's one of the huge sporting events for tomorrow. What about the Capital One Cup final as well? Because this is a huge game at Wembley. Well, that's if you're Chelsea or Tottenham.
Yeah, Tottenham were knocked out of the Europa League the other day, was it?
Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. And if they do want to win and challenge Chelsea in a way, they need to recover and regain momentum quite quickly. Also, Chelsea drew with Burnley, I think. What day was that?
Last Saturday.
Yeah, that was on Saturday, so that could be a setback, so it should be a close game.
I don't think more or less, though, Chelsea are out of form. You know, a lot of people are saying, following that result, Chelsea are out of form. Burnley, give credit to them, had a great game last Saturday at the Bridge, and only the third Premier League side, remember, to get something at the Bridge this season in the league. The other two being Manchester United and Manchester City. So, well, luxurious company there for the Clarets. Of course, a rerun of the 2008 League Cup final, that being the first at the new Wembley. Again, Chelsea were expected to win. They didn't win, obviously. The underdogs got the goal, got the win in extra time. Jonathan Woodgate getting the goal for Tottenham in 2008. Can history repeat itself? I don't think so. To be fair, Mourinho has a strong alliance with the League Cup. Of course, in 2005, I think it was 10 years yesterday, actually, Chelsea won the League Cup, Mourinho's first trophy as Chelsea manager. Although we all know what happened on New Year's Day, Tottenham 5, Chelsea 3. Very big shock in their Premier League on New Year's Day. Can history repeat itself like it did at the Lane, about more or less 2 months ago now? I don't think so either. Harry Kane, the former Leicester City loanee, will be so key, though, for Tottenham this tomorrow, if they are going to get something out of it. Of course, 24 goals in all competitions. He scored 2 and assisted 2 in that fixture on New Year's Day. But him, really, more or less, one of the England star products of the future. But you've also got others, the likes of QPR's Charlie Austin. He's scored more or less half of QPR's goals this season in the league, 14 of QPR's 28. So more more or less that.
Kick-off time, any idea?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Excellent. Conor and Rob, thank you so much. How brilliant. We're going to talk to you again a little bit later on.